Hi everyone! Let's practice some English conversations together.
Have you seen the sales figures?
Yeah, demand for the iSound MP3 player really dropped.
Why did that happen?
Well, Musician's Choice released a similar item. Consumers want that one more.
I see. So we're stuck with huge quantities of the iSound product.
What should we do?
Let's drop the price of the iSound player.
Okay, then maybe we can sell what we have.
So what's your opinion on lean manufacturing and just-in-time production?
Well, they're good for cutting down on waste, which of course saves money.
Right.
But another benefit is that they increase quality.
That's really important. We want to produce the best products we can.
Of course. With those methods, you can identify production problems quickly and implement solutions.
Do you think there are any disadvantages?
Well, if you run out of supplies, it interrupts production. But overall, those are the best methods.
We need to look at our quality control.
Yeah, our products have too many defects. We want to avoid a recall.
You're the factory manager. What do you think we should do?
Well, we could analyse our production process.
I agree. Find where the mistakes are happening.
Right, what's your take on the problem?
In my opinion, we need to do more visual inspections.
OK, but we'd have to hire more people for that.
That's fine with me.
Hi, Bob. How are your projects coming along?
I'm worried about completing the sales report on time.
When is it due?
It's due this Friday, and it has a hard deadline.
Do you think you'll be able to complete it?
Yes, but only if I focus on it completely. May I have an extension on the budget analysis?
Sure. The budget analysis has a soft deadline. Go ahead and focus your attention on the sales report.
Thank you, Ms. White.
Gina, you had questions about the memorandum?
Yeah. What's the difference between competitive and functional benchmarks?
Competitive benchmarks are based on a competitor's best practices.
But how did our company get information about competitors?
We formed a temporary partnership to exchange information. It's actually fairly common.
I see. And can you explain functional benchmarks?
Those are just based on other companies, in and outside of our industry. Some companies just do things better. We'll try to mimic them.
OK, I get it now.
So, what do you think of my suggestions, Erica?
Well, I don't know about minimizing storage.
What's your concern?
I'm afraid we'll run out of things, and we won't know about it on time.
But Erica, we have a lot of supplies. Too many. Sometimes they become outdated.
Well, there is a lot of waste.
Yeah, and our inventory management is outdated too. The new software will make it easier to control our supply inventory.
I guess you're right. Let's try it.
So we're getting ready to release the Alloy 760.
Yeah, when do you think it'll be ready?
Well, we're having some design problems. Durability has been an issue.
How long will it take to fix it?
I think it'll be about a month.
Okay, but the other upgrades are working fine?
Yeah, they are. The screen is great. It's much bigger. And the processor is really fast. I think the phone will be ready to distribute around December.
Great.
So, how did it go with the new pricing policy?
Great so far. The customers love price matching.
That's good to hear. How are the sales figures doing?
They're actually increasing. Even though we're matching our competitors, we're attracting a lot more customers.
That's fantastic news. What else have you done?
Well, we're marking up some prices to cover our costs.
How is that going?
Fine, it's so small that customers don't notice, but it's allowing us to increase profits.
Hey, Jim, can I ask for your advice on something?
Sure, Susan. What's up?
I'm having trouble generating sales.
In what way?
Well, I start off well, but I can't seem to close many deals.
You know, I had the same problem when I started. Have you tried giving customers a few moments alone?
No, does that work?
Sure. People make purchases more often when they feel they made the decision themselves.
Have you read the August sales report, John?
I have, Charles. Do you believe this sales forecast?
It seems accurate to me. I would predict the same trends.
I'm worried about the drop in consumer sales. Is there any way to improve them?
We could try advertising more.
If we can get by on our existing funds, we may not need to.
Well, just to be on the safe side, we should probably do it anyway.
You're probably right.
Sorry to bother you, but I have a quick question about shipping.
No problem. What's your question?
We have 2 shipments ready. How would you like to ship them?
What are they?
The first shipment is an order of laptop computers.
Send those through standard mail, but be sure to insure them.
All right. The other shipment is a collection of legal documents, mostly permits and contracts.
Those need to arrive by tomorrow evening. Ship them overnight.
Do you think brand extension works?
What do you have in mind?
We make athletic shoes, but I want to make workout clothes too.
That sounds good. A new line will attract more customers.
Right, and it's cheaper than creating a new brand.
That's true, but you have to be careful. New products can take sales from old lines.
I never thought of that.
And there's a risk of brand dilution. It'll weaken your brand's identity.
Well, I guess I'll give it more thought.
Hi, have you read the marketing company's suggestions yet?
Yes, I did. How should we proceed?
I like their suggestion of using online ads.
I'd prefer a more traditional method, like billboards.
But billboard advertising is so old. Moreover, it won't contribute to our online presence.
Perhaps, but they've been effective in the past.
Well, why don't we try both billboards and online ads?
That seems like a fair compromise. There's a new supermarket down the street. Do you think it'll be a threat?
No, it's a minor player. With our size, we've got a major advantage.
Yeah, but remember when that locally owned furniture store opened?
Oh, yeah, I do. Its competitors went out of business, even the leaders.
Right. I think we need to lower prices.
No, let's not do that yet. For right now, let's just increase our advertising.
Okay. Maybe that's all we need to do.
Thank you for calling customer service. How may I help you?
I have a complaint about an order.
Customer satisfaction is important to us. What's wrong with your order?
I paid for overnight shipping, but didn't receive my order for 4 days.
Let me apologize on my company's behalf. We are very sorry.
Can you refund my shipping cost?
Certainly. I'll also include a discount on your next order. Just tell me your account info.
Thank you. My name is Greg Sanders, and my account number is 1384227-5.
Thanks, Mr. Sanders. I'll start that refund now.
Did you read your performance review, Tom?
Yes, I did, Ms. Neal. Thank you for your feedback.
Of course. You run the most productive team here, you know.
Thanks. I still need to work on my management style, though.
Yes, you do. Your employees tell me that you're demanding. Some even say you're harsh.
I know I can seem that way. But if I lay off, they might stop working so hard.
I don't think you're giving them enough credit. You have to trust them.
You think they'll do their work even if I'm not breathing down their necks?
Try listening to them and showing them you respect them.
I'm not sure that will work.
It's worth a shot. You might be surprised. You need to address these issues, Tom. People feel demoralized.
All right, I understand. I'll start easing up a bit.
Hi, are you Mrs. Gibson?
Yes, you must be Mr. Roberts. Nice to meet you.
Likewise. Now, let's see. You're here about the management position, correct?
Yes, that's right. I'm really excited to talk to you more about it.
Great. Well, first off, tell me about your management style.
I try to treat my employees with respect and kindness. I'm concerned about their happiness.
That's always a good thing. How do you avoid seeming like a pushover, though?
Well, I found that it's always a good idea to clearly communicate expectations.
I see. So, how do you balance keeping employees happy and getting work done?
They know there are consequences for poor performance.
Good. Some people get their priorities mixed up.
Not me. I want my employees to be happy, but that's not my priority. At the end of the day, they're there to do their jobs.
Hi, Jill. Can I talk to you for a minute?
Sure, Keith. What's going on?
Well, I was reading about different management styles. I think we should start being a little more democratic around here.
You mean encouraging more employee input before making decisions?
Exactly. I think it will really increase morale.
Yes, and it certainly will make them feel more empowered. That could be a good thing.
I agree totally. I want my employees to take ownership of their work.
That's admirable, Keith. Be careful, though. This kind of management style can decrease productivity.
How so?
Reaching a consensus on tough decisions can take time. You can lose out on hours, even days, when debating a sensitive issue.
You're right. I hadn't thought about that.
I think you have a really good idea here. I just want you to be prepared.
Hey, Dora. I just got off the phone with the bank.
Oh, really? What did they say?
Well, they liked our business plan. But before they can give us the loan, they want us to do a few more things.
What else do they need?
They need a location and a marketing strategy.
OK, how soon do you think we can get those together?
Let's split them up. If you'll look for a suitable location, I'll work on the marketing plan. We should have it done by the end of the week.
Sounds good. Where should I start looking?
Maybe you should get in touch with a property management company. I'd like a place downtown.
That's a great idea. I'll go make some calls.
Good. I'm going to call a friend in marketing and see if she can help me.
That would be perfect. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming to the seminar with me.
You're welcome. I learnt a lot.
I know, me too. I'm excited to use some of these ideas.
I agree. What were you thinking exactly?
We need to reach the downtown market. Our stores on the east side are doing well. It's time to expand.
That's just what I thought. We could gain a lot of new customers.
Definitely. I also think we should talk about setting strategic goals.
That's a great idea. We could commit to opening 2 new stores this year and 5 more next year.
Adding 2 stores would be expensive, but it's worth it. But 5 more after that seems like too much.
Well, the extra business from the first 2 will cover some of the cost.
It's possible. But I'd rather set a goal of 2 and then reassess our finances.
Fair enough. We'll start with 2.
Excuse me, Dr. Seymour. May I ask you a question?
Of course, Alex. What can I help you with?
Well, I'm a little confused about the difference between the franchise model and the utility model.
All right. What confuses you about them?
Well, which one is the one where you use a pre-existing company's business plan?
That's a franchise. A person can buy a store of a brand that already exists and is proven successful. In my opinion, it's the safest way to start a business.
Okay, so what's the utility model then?
The utility model, on the other hand, doesn't rely on a pre-existing name.
Oh yeah, I remember. That's the one where your customers just pay you for purchases they make, right?
Yes, exactly. They pay you for the use of certain things like a song or an article.
A lot of online businesses use that model, right?
Yes, that's correct.
I really hope you can help me out. My business is having a very hard time.
Well, what seems to be the problem?
I'm just having trouble making ends meet. I'm barely breaking even.
Well, the easiest thing to do is to decrease your overhead.
What's that?
You know, the total amount it takes you to run your business. That's overhead.
Oh, I see. Somehow I need to cut back on those expenses.
Exactly. That's where we should start. What are your monthly fixed and variable expenses?
What do you mean?
Fixed expenses are things that don't change from month to month. You know, like rent or electricity. Your variable expenses are the ones that fluctuate, like supply orders.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'll have to make a list of those.
Sure, just email me when you get it together.
Hi, Angela. I got your email and had a couple of questions.
Sure, Mr. Roberts. What's up?
I'm unsure about where the loan interest goes. Is it recorded as accounts payable or accrued expenses payable?
Yeah, this can get confusing. The interest owed on a loan is part of accrued expenses payable. Interest accrues every month, but we only pay it twice a year.
Oh, okay. Even though we don't pay it every month, we still have to record that it's adding up.
Exactly. Accrued expenses payable records all the expenses we add up. That includes the ones that aren't due right away.
I see.
Is there anything else?
Yes, you said that we carried over a loss from last year?
Yes, because we had a loss, we can deduct that amount from our taxable income for this year.
That's a good thing, right?
A loss is never good, but deducting it from our taxable income should reduce the amount we owe this year.
We have to get this budget balanced. I have a few ideas.
Great! Let's hear them.
We're spending way too much on labour. I know it's hard, but I think we're going to have to lay people off.
I really hate to do that, but I agree our labour costs are very high.
They are. We have to get them under control.
What about pay cuts? Do you think that would help?
With the amounts we'd have to cut, I think the employees would rather be laid off.
Well, what are your other ideas?
I think we should also think of shutting down one of our stores. What do you think?
Well, that would necessitate layoffs, but we would save on rent and utilities too.
Exactly. Times are tough and we have to make cuts somewhere.
Well, let's look for other cuts first. I'd hate to put people out of work.
Hi, Phyllis. It's Oscar Jones. I was just returning your call.
Great, thanks, Oscar. I need some additional information from you to complete your company's balance sheet.
No problem. What do you need to know?
Let's see. First, I need to know the value of the property and equipment your company owns.
All right. We own 2 buildings, so that's $400,000 right there, plus our fleet, which is worth another $250,000.
$650,000 altogether, then.
Yeah, that's it. What else can I help you with?
How much debt do you have?
Long-term or short-term?
I need both.
All right. Looks like $20,000 in short-term debt and $75,000 in long-term debt.
Thanks. I think that's all I needed. I'll have that balance sheet done by the end of the day.
Hi, Mr. Hopkins. Do you have a minute to talk about the profit and loss account I sent over?
Of course, I just received it. It looks like bad news.
That's actually why I'm calling. There's a couple of things wrong with the figures.
Oh, really? What's the problem?
Well, it looks like somehow we entered in your total sales incorrectly.
That's going to make a difference.
Yes, it's a big difference. The correct number is substantially higher than what's on your statement.
All right, let's get that fixed. Was there anything else?
There's one more thing. We forgot to add the wages in the expenses section.
Do you need me to send those numbers over again?
Yes, please. I apologize for the oversight. I'm not sure what happened.
It's okay. I hope we don't run into any additional problems, though.
Hi, Keith. Can I talk to you a minute?
Sure. What can I help you with?
I have a meeting with the shareholders in an hour. I really need to get this quarter's cash flow statement.
Oh, yeah, you'll need that. Here it is. Take a look at it and see if you have any questions.
Oh, great. I was worried it wasn't ready.
I just finished it a few minutes ago. Sorry, I didn't realize there was a shareholders meeting, or I would have had it sooner.
No worries. I'm just relieved to have it now.
Did you need any clarification on anything?
Let's see. It looks like outflows are up this quarter. Why is that?
Well, we've been paying out more dividends.
Oh, okay. I think I've got it. Thanks a lot, Keith. You saved my life with this.
Any time. Call me if you need.
Hey, Jim. Did you see this quarter's numbers?
No, I haven't yet. How do they look?
I'm afraid it's not good. This slump we're in pushed us below the break-even point.
That's awful. I was afraid that would happen. What are we going to do?
I think we need to look for a new supplier.
That's a good idea. If we could find something cheaper, it would really cut costs.
Yes, and in this economy, people are getting desperate. I'm sure we can find a better deal.
That's true. I was also thinking we could reduce costs by closely examining our productivity.
That's a good point. Wasted time can translate into wasted money.
It sure can. I hate to say it, but I think some people here aren't very productive.
Well, some of the procedures we use are so outdated. They can eat up a lot of time and money.
Hi, Mrs. Davis. I heard you needed to talk to me about something.
Hi, Stan. I've been reviewing our finances. I'm a little surprised about how much we're paying in taxes.
It does seem like a lot of money, doesn't it?
I'll say. I know we can't do much about our property taxes, but what about those corporate taxes?
There are some tax breaks we can get.
Oh, really? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Of course. The government offers tax credits to businesses. For example, we can get a credit if we start supplying our employees with health insurance. What if we try that?
Yeah, that sounds like it could be a good option. What else can we do?
Well, we could also consider renovating our buildings to be more energy efficient.
How would that help?
Businesses that make an effort to help the environment are eligible for certain tax breaks.
Wow, I had no idea. Let's get started right away.
Hi, Gareth. How's your team doing on the end-of-year procedures?
We're making good progress. We've wrapped up with all the credit card slips and purchase invoices.
Great. You're not missing any source documents then?
I don't think so. Everything has been sent in. I just have to file them.
All right, good. What about payroll?
I'm still waiting on the sales department's time cards.
Okay, I'll get with the manager this afternoon. Have you received all the other departments' time cards, though?
Yes. Oh, is the salary roster you gave me last week still up to date?
I'm pretty sure, but I'll email you the latest one just in case.
Thanks. Once I get those two things, we'll be done with payroll.
Wonderful. What's your time frame looking like to have it all totally done?
I'd say the end of the week at the latest.
Did you read that article in Money Matters this week about Northern Wind Power?
No, why?
Apparently they are facing a hostile takeover.
Really? I thought they were doing well.
They were a few months ago, but I guess things changed.
What do you think happened?
They lost some important government subsidies. That scared off some investors.
Is there any chance they can recover?
It doesn't look good, but they can always hope for a white knight.
Stories like that make me nervous. What do you think would happen if we lost some big investors like that?
There's no way that would happen. We are in a much more stable industry.
Well, you never know. Remember what happened to Source Staffing?
No, I never heard of it.
A few years ago, they were the target of a buyout attempt.
Did it go through?
No, but it was close. I think it can happen to anyone.
Hello, you've reached Knitting Pretty customer service. How may I help you?
Hi, I was trying to buy some yarn online, but I forgot my password. I thought maybe I was just typing it wrong, so I tried a few times. Now I'm locked out of my account.
No problem, ma'am. I just need to get a little information from you. What is your username?
Marla Williams 99.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. What was the number?
99.
Thank you. Okay, I found your account. It looks like you entered the incorrect password 3 times. Users are automatically locked out if that happens.
Can you fix it?
Sure, I just need you to answer a few security questions. What was the name of your first pet?
Snowball.
Okay. And where were you born?
New York City.
And lastly, what is your mother's maiden name?
Anderson.
All right, ma'am. You've answered the security questions correctly. I'm emailing you a temporary PIN. Use that to log in and reset your password. You will be able to access your account immediately.
Thanks for your help.
Good morning. You've reached Safety Net Support Services. How may I help you?
Hello. I'm considering purchasing your business package. My current internet security software doesn't protect me very well against spam. I wanted to make sure your company will fix that problem.
If you purchase our business package, you will have full spam protection.
Great. I had another question about your software. Currently, I have to purchase software for each computer on our network.
Our business package also includes services for every networked computer.
Is that unlimited?
Each software purchase comes along with product keys for 15 computers.
What if we have more than 15?
For each extra computer, we charge a small fee.
Does that fee cover backup services as well?
Yes, sir. When you purchase antivirus protection from us, it is always paired with backup services.
That sounds perfect.
Are there any other questions I can answer for you?
No, that covers it. Thanks for your help.
How do you think our numbers are going to look this season?
Well, we've been doing a much better job of sticking to the schedule. I expect to see improvement across the board.
Good. I got an email from the bookbinder on your project. She's very pleased with the improved communication. You're doing a good job with that.
Thanks. I'm glad to hear that.
I've noticed, though, that several copies of one of your new titles were returned by the distribution centre.
Yes, unfortunately that title was sent out with several pages missing.
You need to be sure your team isn't sacrificing quality for speed.
Do you have any advice?
What have you tried?
I tried offering incentives, but the work was sometimes sloppy.
Do your team members check each other's work?
No, each person is responsible for checking his or her own work.
Maybe you could assign each person a partner for quality assurance.
Thanks, I'll try that.
Check in with me next month and let me know how it's going.
Okay, I will.
I can't believe how far behind we've gotten on this project.
What happened?
I scheduled project completion for last week, but we're still not finished.
Did you give a strict timeline to your team members?
Yes, but I didn't track their progress closely enough.
Did you use a project management program?
No, I just asked them to send an email when they were finished.
The same thing happened to me last year, but I found a program that helps in project planning.
How does it help?
Well, it lets you divide your project into smaller components and set up a timeline for each task.
Can't I just do that with a simple Gantt chart?
Yes, but the program sends automatic reminder emails. You can keep in touch with resources outside the company more easily.
How?
You can enroll outside contractors on the same project as employees.
That sounds like it would improve communication.
It's very helpful.
Thanks for your email about risk management. You're right, it's important that we be ready for the unexpected.
I'm glad you agree.
I've been thinking about some other problems we should be prepared for. Do we have a plan for natural disasters?
I know our West Coast office has an earthquake plan.
We should adapt that plan for potential floods.
I agree. We need to be certain that our flood insurance is up to date.
That seems simple enough.
I was wondering if you had any ideas about dealing with public relations problems.
Yes, I already have some ideas.
What do you think?
Well, first we need to create a mission statement.
How will that help with public relations?
The mission statement will clarify our business and ethical goals. That way we will know if a client is at odds with those goals.
That's a good idea.
Make sure to let the other managers know to start working on that.
Did you hear about Macpherson's trial?
I did. Do you think she'll be convicted?
It seems likely, especially considering the insider trading trial.
She was cleared, wasn't she?
Yes, but 2 trials in 2 years doesn't look good.
I can't believe she asked her accountant to cook the books.
The situation reminds me of a company I worked for several years ago.
Really? Why?
The CEO was caught embezzling when he approached an employee for help.
I can't imagine any of our executives asking anyone at this company to do something wrong.
It happens more often than you might think. My brother saw something similar at his company as well.
That sounds like a difficult situation.
It can be hard to say no to powerful people, even when they're wrong.
I'm so glad we don't have to deal with that kind of problem at this company.
That's why I left my old job and came here. It's really important to work for people you can trust.
I was going over our numbers for last month and noticed more returns than usual.
I had 3 returns just yesterday.
Did they all have receipts?
No, 1 did. The other 2 just had the items.
We're going to have to start requiring receipts. If we don't, people can just bring in items from other stores or things they bought online.
That's true.
We've been losing money for the past 4 months. I think some of that loss has been caused by customers bringing in fake returns.
It's probably only a few items. Does it really make a big difference?
I can't stress this enough. Every loss makes a difference.
When does a new policy take effect?
Next month, I put up a sign at all the registers.
Why don't we just start it today?
Well, customers may have bought an item before the new policy was in effect and thrown away the receipt, so we need to inform them of the new policy before we enforce it.
What should I do if someone complains?
Have them come talk to me.
Hi, Marie. I need to talk to you for a moment.
Sure, Mr. Corman.
I have some bad news. We had to fire Corey.
Oh no, why?
He was stealing from the company.
Really? I can't believe that.
He was giving unauthorized discounts to a major client and keeping the profits.
How do you know?
Another employee noticed that the records did not seem correct. When we looked into it, we found out what had been going on.
Which client was it?
I can't tell you that until after the court case is settled.
There's going to be a court case?
Yes, it's company policy to prosecute theft. I wanted to let you know myself, since you're a friend of Corey's.
Will he go to jail?
I'm sorry to say so, but I think it is likely. We will be prosecuting to the fullest extent of the law. I want to make sure you understand the seriousness of this.
I understand.
Hi, Bill. I'm calling to let you know that we're officially filing for bankruptcy.
I thought that might happen.
It was a really tough decision, but it seemed like our best option.
So, what happens now?
Once we go through the legal proceedings, the company will be turned over to a receiver.
Do we know who the receiver will be?
Not yet. The bankruptcy court will appoint someone.
What will happen to all of our employees?
It depends on what the receiver decides. But if they liquidate our assets, we'll be out of business. We'll have to let everyone go.
Will we be able to pay them anything?
I'm not sure if we'll have enough funds left after the creditors are paid.
When are you going to tell everyone?
I want to wait until I've filed the paperwork, but we need to tell them soon so they can start looking for new jobs.
Do we have any resources for helping people find work?
I'm looking into it.
If this recession doesn't end soon, we're going to have to consider downsizing.
That's a frightening prospect. We're already running on a very tight budget.
I think there are a few places we could cut spending.
What are you thinking?
I think we should eliminate the training department. That would limit the number of people we'll have to let go.
Cutting our training staff could hurt us in the long run.
I know, but I'd rather do that than eliminate any larger departments.
Do you think that will be necessary?
We need to slash our costs.
I hope that won't mean closing any branches.
I hope so too. We need to think about that possibility, though.
If we have to shut down a branch, I think the East Side branch has the lowest numbers.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
How long do you want to wait before we start downsizing?
I think we can make it to next quarter.
Maybe the economy will improve by then.
Ms. Dumas, do you have a moment to talk over my evaluation?
Sure, Lawrence.
I wanted to ask you about your comments at the bottom of the rubric. First, thanks for your comments on my dependability.
You've always been someone I can count on.
But you don't feel comfortable promoting me.
As I said in your evaluation, I think you need to improve your initiative first.
What do you think I can do to improve?
I think you should challenge yourself to go beyond just doing what's asked of you.
How do you suggest I do that?
I think you should set some personal goals that go beyond the normal quarterly expectations.
Should I be setting higher sales goals?
Yes, but you should also be thinking of ways to show leadership.
I did have an idea, but I'm not sure it will work.
Lawrence, you will be much more useful to this company if you explore your ideas.
Can we schedule a meeting to go over a new incentives plan?
I think that's a great idea.
Thanks for talking with me, Mr. Truman. 20 years ago, your company was found guilty running several sweatshops. But today, things are very different. Why?
When the unacceptable working conditions at our factories were made public, the owners had to reevaluate their priorities.
Was that to avoid fines and court cases, or was it driven by something else?
I believe it was a genuine desire to reinvest in social responsibility.
In what way?
The company made significant and expensive changes.
Can you give some examples?
Well, they hired more people, improved benefits, and redesigned the factory for better ventilation.
I see. So, how else has the company shown dedication to ethical practices?
The way we do business today is fundamentally different from 20 years ago.
How so?
Our managers are committed to preserving resources rather than simply using them up.
How do you show that commitment?
We have a very effective recycling program. We now reuse 60% of our raw production byproduct. That all used to be waste.
That sounds very different from the policies of 20 years ago.
I need to ask you a favour.
Sure.
I need you to mediate a disagreement between two people on my project.
What's going on?
My new marketing associate claims that the project director stole an idea from her. She doesn't want to work with him anymore until the problem is resolved.
What does the project director say?
He says they developed the idea collaboratively.
What do you think happened?
I don't think I'm a very good judge. I've had a conflict with the project director and I can't be objective.
What happened between you two?
I probably shouldn't discuss it. I don't want to influence your judgment.
I understand.
Will you meet with them?
I can do it next week. Is that soon enough?
I think so. I really appreciate you doing this for me.
Sure, no problem.
I need your advice on a problem I'm having.
I'm glad to help if I can.
I have 2 employees in accounting who just can't seem to get along.
What are they arguing about?
Nothing in particular. They just have a personality conflict. One is very passive-aggressive. The other is constantly gossiping about it and venting to her co-workers.
Have you confronted them about it?
I have. They recognise that it's an issue but can't seem to resolve it.
If it were me, I'd probably just separate them.
Well, they are the only 2 accountants in the department. They have to work together. I think I may try to transfer one of them to another department.
That might just cause problems for someone else.
I don't know what else to do.
I think you should tell them that if they continue disrupting work with personal issues, it will be grounds for dismissal.
But they are both very good accountants.
If they can't solve this, they won't be an asset to the company.
That's true. Thanks for the advice.